me ducks, it's Simon here. Welcome back to the Hermit's Cave. Hope everybody's doing okay. It's a really busy week. I'm doing all right, but tonight will be a quick one, a relatively quick one. I know I've said so many times, you know, this will be a quick one, and then it never is. But I'm late home from work, and also I've just had to go out to a depot because a deck arrived and I wasn't home to take it, and that's what I'm on to show you. I've just took it out of the box, but I've not done anything else yet, and you'll have seen from the title what this is, and I'm incredibly excited to have this deck. So a bit of a backstory. Brant from Moonbaby managed to get an original 1929 copy of this deck, and I remember watching it in lockdown and thinking, wow, you know, but obviously an original 1929 deck they don't come around often, but the Philosophical Research Society, who produced this deck back then and still going today, brought out another deck, another version of it a few years ago, and if I remember, I'll try and insert a picture here of what that looked like. And I watched a few reviews and I was kind of like, for the money and everything, I don't know if I want to invest. There were larger cards, there was lots of white space on them. Anyway, I just happened to be looking, as you do, browsing, and I saw that the Philosophical Research Society had re-released the deck as a replica of the original in these telescopic type decks. They remind me of the Robert M. Place decks, you know, these ones that is brought out, these telescopic decks. But that's how the original was in 1929. And for a very limited time, it was 25% off. Now this is only a small deck, but I don't mind that. And like I said, I think it's in keeping with the original. Anyway, I'm struggling to get in here. There we go. And it was 25% off, but it should have been $100, which was quite steep, because then obviously I've got postage and I didn't have to pay customs. But yeah, I was like, But it had got 25% off, so it was $75, and it said the discount was for very limited time. Not sure what that is, whether that's some notes or whether it was just extra padding or something, but we can have a look. And so I jumped on it. I know it was a bit of an investment, but I thought, this doesn't come around often, and I much prefer this style. I mean, it's even got the card stuck on the back like the original. What is this? This is bizarre, and it's got tape on it, so it's going to damage it, but I'm intrigued. Unless it's just the invoice. Yeah, it's just the invoice. Yeah, Philosophical Research Society, Los Angeles, California. This was ordered a week ago and it's arrived today. I won't open it up because it'll have my full address on here, but let's see at the bottom. Oh, they've scrubbed out. I don't know why they've scrubbed out the amounts. It says no, it doesn't say 50. It said $, £0.0. Well, trust me, I paid $75 for it. Brian, wishing you many happy readings, PRS, for obviously the psychological, philosophical, I should say, Research Society. I don't know why they've scrubbed out all the prices. That's really bizarre. even that bit, I'm still trying to cover my address. Limited reprint, UPS International. Yeah, so it's the limited reprint edition. So how cool is that? Anyway, just a little bit about it. So before we take a look. So the Napole, for me, and the reason why I wanted it is because it's got its place in tarot history, and I'm all about bringing in historical decks. And since my decluttering video at the weekend, 4 decks have gone. 2 that I sold to a friend, 2 that I traded for 1 deck. So that's 3 out and 1 in. This was already ordered anyway. But after that decluttering, I'm really conscious of decks that I'm bringing in. Okay, so they've got to be unique. They've got to add something. I'm really enjoying pips and things at the moment, and this was another reason why I wanted to get this one. But it's a fascinating and to me a historically important deck, particularly if you're interested in the early gosh, I can't speak, I told you it's been a long day. The early 20th century kind of Western esoteric revival. So yeah, so it was created in 1929 by Manly P. Hall, and that's where you get Knapp-Hall. So Manly P. Hall, and he was a well-known scholar, esoteric scholar. He was a mystic, but he was the founder of the Philosophical Research Society, who have reproduced this deck. And he teamed up with J. Augustus Knapp, hence the Knapp-Hall name for the deck. I mean, it's called Revised New Tarot Art Cards, but everybody refers to this as the Napole deck. Yeah, and Augustus Knapp was an illustrator and had previously collaborated with Manly P. Hall on some of his writings as an illustrator. So it's strongly influenced by occult symbolism, particularly Hermetic and Rosicrucian traditions. But for me, you know, this come 20 years after RWS. So it's got its place, 1929, in between RWS and Thoth decks. And I've just wanted it for the longest time. The cards are really small, but they're on beautiful, beautiful card stock. And the illustrations are wonderful in this deck. They're more mystical and symbolic than narrative, particularly when we get to the minors, but I'm not going to jump ahead yet. They do use pips rather than the sort of, how can we put it, the everyday illustrations, the everyday storytelling quality of RWS. But I've really been enjoying reading with pips, so I'm really excited about this as well. Okay. I suppose the only other thing to say was really when this was created, it was intended really to be more of a teaching tool rather than a divination deck. But like all tarot decks, you can't keep divination out of them, can you? And it was accompanied by Hall's writings, which connected tarot to the Hermetic philosophy, alchemy, astrology, Kabbalah, etc. Yeah, but there's a lot of, this is a little white book, but as you'll see, there's 49, 51 pages, and there's a lot of information, a lot of text in here, as you can see. And on the front it says, an essay on the Book of Thoth by Manly P. Hall. And then prepared to accompany a special deck of tarot cards in 4 colours by J. Augustus Knapp. Don't you just love it that everything's authentic to how it was? A deck in 4 colours. Yeah, and this is referred to as new tarot cards, a special deck of tarot cards. This is really, I do like these boxes. Really nice, sturdy, and will protect the deck as well. And we've got gold on the front here. Card on the back is the card backs. It says tarot. Tarot, Arot, Rota, Otar, and then the same on the other side. All right, I'm going to bring the camera down and we'll have a closer look at these cards. Okay, so we have our full card. Now they are squared corners, as you can see. They're not the thickest of cardstock. Again, I mean, I think they was trying to replicate as was in 1929. I just think for a deck of £100, because of the size of the cards, it would have been nice for them to be a little bit thicker. But for me, this is, as I say, it's more for study and its place in tarot history, but I will be using it as well. I really love the artwork. It's very soft. They use French titles as well. And you'll see we have the number at the bottom as well. And I think that's Hebrew alphabet, isn't it? La Papesse. Gorgeous Empress card. I love the use of purple as well. Our Emperor. The Pope. Our Lovers, the Lover, got the Cupid. I mean, even though this is, it's often referred to as a bridge deck, when I've looked into it, between the more traditional European tarot styles like Marseille, Atea, and those systems, I should say, and a more esoteric, occult heavy decks of the 20th century. It's often seen as that, referred to as that bridge deck. But, you know, tarot is the tarot, and this is following the structure that we're used to with Marseille or Rider-Waite-Smith. I know that the minors are a little bit different. Love the colours, love the artwork. Here's our Hermit. The snake there. I'll have to read up about these little shields that appear. I mean, we've got the star, which we often see inside the Hermit's lantern. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, a road sweeps going past. I don't know if you can hear that. I'm going to close the window for a second. That's a little better, because I find that off-putting, so I'm sure you do as well. So yeah, our Wheel of Fortune. The Force. La Force. Gorgeous. I love the swan. I mean, just from intuitive hits, you know, we often see the Force or the Strength card as that sort of dominance over the beast. But actually, if you look at older decks like Visconti decks, they're more working in tandem together. And then we get this elegance of the swan, the graceful swan. Le Pendu. I love this death card, La Mort. Look how he's, even though he's sideways on, he's looking directly at us. He's named as well. Temperance, beautiful colours in the background. Just look how soft and gentle this is. 1929. Love that we get the yin and yang symbol for temperance. Beautiful vessels that she's pouring the water. Both feet on the ground. The devil. I love this. It's gorgeous. I mean, this is very RWS, isn't it? I think, yeah, Pixie had influence here 20 years previously, whereas this is much more Marseille. Although it looks like male and female here. Judgment. This is clever as well. I'm seeing more and more correlation with these shields. Death underground, but then the flower rising up above the ground as they rise up above the ground. And then our world card. Interesting that it's 21 and 22. I'd have to look that up. 21 and 22. Let's have a look. Okay, so what I've been able to find is in the traditional tarot, Marseille and Rider-Waite-Smith traditions, the world is numbered 21, the final card of the major arcana. However, Hall's esoteric view, Manly P. Hall believed the tarot contained 22 stages of spiritual initiation, corresponding to 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet and the 22 paths on the Kabbalistic tree of life. Since the fall is sometimes considered unnumbered or zero, obviously here, Hall gave the world a dual numbering, 21 as its traditional place in sequence and 22 to mark the completion of the Fool's journey. Okay. And now we have sirens. All right, so we're starting with the courts, which is happens a lot with king and then into the minors. So our king and queen, look at them. Aren't they stunning? If we had them that way, they'd be looking at each other a lot. And then we have our knight, which is a W. I wonder if that's for warrior or... Oh, sorry, I had to wait for those sirens to stop because they was... So far, we've had a road sweep, we've had gale force winds whistling around the windows, and then sirens. And I said this was going to be a short video, and it will be. It's interesting as well how they're cut look, because sometimes you see the name quite clearly, but in some cards it's cut off. And again, it appears like that on the traditional deck as well from 1929. So this is a great revival, really is. So yeah, W I think for warrior. So I wonder what S is. Let's have a look. Okay, so the S is for servant, and that's a nod to the rank of valet, which is in the French decks like Marseille or Fonte in Italian, which means attendant or servant. So this is to stress within the Napole deck the qualities of service, humility, apprenticeship, learning, etc. Oh, I love these illustrations. All right, so the minors. So as I said, they're quite pippish. We have, we're starting with our wands. And we get here 2 of wands. So we get 2 and the symbol of the wand. We have these little triangles now as well. So like in the first one, in the majors, we have the shields, the crests. We get these triangles here. So we've got a serpent here for the 2, a lamp, like an Aladdin's lamp for the 3, 4. Look at that. Oh, I love this. And we've seen these configurations before. I'm trying to think of some other decks that I've got. Is it? Yes. In the Grand Tarot Esoterico. Although we do have other symbols in there. You'll see here we've got the triangle at the top, the square at the bottom. For the 6, we have the same here, although there's the sun there. So that's the configuration, and this is the, as I said, the Grand Tarot Esoterico. So yeah, which would have come later, but oh. Wow, now we've got a big burst of evening sun. This is the strangest video I think I've made. There's our King of Cups. We've got red cups. Again, look at the colours. Look how subtle. Oh, it's beautiful. Crown here. So we've gone from triangles to this oval shape. I'm hoping that this little book goes into all these details. It's certainly something to study, but I'm not looking forward to it. I probably need a magnifying glass. I'm loving me some pips at the moment. And the different colours that we're getting with the kings, really unusual. Really blend well with their suits. The turret in the background. Our swords. Interesting as well that we get a spade, a reference to the playing card pip. Very similar, well, the same configuration as with the wands. Look at that for the 10. Wow. Gorgeous. Look at these colours. Really beautiful. Love this. And our final suit is our coins. Well, that didn't disappoint. I mean, yes, maybe I'd have liked it a little bit bigger, but I do think looking at the original, this was probably the same size. I would have perhaps preferred the cardstock to be a little bit thicker. But that said, I'm still going to use it. I'm still going to, yes, study deck, but also, you know, it's one I intend to use. And if I'd wanted to get a bigger deck with thicker cardstock, I could have brought the one that came out probably about, I don't know, 6-7 years ago, I think. But this one just feels more authentic. So pleased to have it. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Was you aware of it? You know, I think this one does slip under the radar a bit. There's not a lot of walkthroughs with this deck, but for its place in history and how beautiful the artwork is as well, I just think it's a fantastic buy. And I don't know if it's still on offer. I bought this last week, and that's August, if you're watching this in the future, August of 2025. We're stocked on the Hermit. And it was $75 for a limited time only. The deck is limited time only anyway. It's a special edition, but it should be $100. Thanks for watching, everyone, and until next time, go in peace. Namaste, and blessed be.